Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel and thank you so much for joining me this week. At the time of recording this video, my book AI Powered Pedagogy hasn't been released, but we are literally hours away. So I wanted to share some snippets and some of the content from the book in this week's video. So if you're interested in hearing about ways to mitigate plagiarism in our AI world, then please keep on watching. Okay, so in my book, I talk about some tips to really try and help mitigate plagiarism. We don't want to be in a situation where students have plagiarized because they didn't have a full understanding of what was expected in terms of AI use. And we also want to ensure that they really understand academic honesty, ethics, and integrity when it comes to any kind of AI use. So in my book, I outline 7 different ways to mitigate plagiarism. I'm going to share 5 of them with you today. So the first one is really providing resources and support to your students so that they actually have a clear understanding of what is considered cheating, plagiarism, and what is not considered plagiarism. Because it's actually quite nuanced. You know, we can use AI tools. There are different citation guidelines that we want students to be able to follow, and we want to teach them and provide them with resources so that they're able to use AI in a really responsible way. So the first tip on how to mitigate plagiarism is provide your students and teachers for that matter with resources and support. Okay, the second way to mitigate plagiarism in this AI world is to really focus on the process of learning rather than the product. So that process means that you're guiding students throughout. You're seeing their work. You're looking at drafts of their work. You've actually had conversations with them about this process, and you've given really targeted feedback as well based on their drafts and based on your discussions. So that second way to mitigate plagiarism is to really focus on the journey of learning rather than just the product, and really focus on using drafts so that you have a better understanding of the student's progress and understanding during completion of that task. Okay, so number 3 is really know your students, and we do know our students. So I teach at the University of Hong Kong a Masters of Education program, and I know exactly when students have used some kind of large language model and copy and pasted, and I know when they haven't, or I know when they've just used it to brainstorm ideas and help make their communication a little bit clearer. So I think if we really know our students, we know what their writing style is, we know what they're capable of, and we can really discern between AI, 100% AI generated work, and a student's authentic voice coming through their work. And my next tip, how to mitigate plagiarism, is to really try and encourage assignments that involve a lot of critical analysis, because we know large language models can't think for themselves. They can't do that critical thinking. All they are is just using probabilities to generate words that are most likely to be in a sentence or next to each other. So if we design assignments or assessments that require a lot of critical thinking, I think that will really compel learners to critically think about that assignment and the task of the assignment and the goal of the assignment. And copying straight from a large language model is just not going to suffice the success criteria in the end. Okay, and my last top tip that I'm going to talk about today, but I've got 2 more in my book, is use of viva voce. So I think it's really a great idea to have some kind of oral feedback to discuss with your students after they've handed in a product, whether they understand and they can explain the process of how they arrived at their conclusions. And it really allows them to not only defend, but explain their thinking as they were going through the learning journey. Okay, so just to summarize, 5 ways to mitigate plagiarism. 1, provide resources and support for teachers and students. 2, focus on the process and drafting during that process. 3, really know your students and their own authentic way of communicating and their own authentic voice. 4, encourage tasks that actually require some critical analysis and critical thinking. And 5, use a viva voce so that students have to explain and defend their product and their thinking behind the actual assignment. So in my book, as I said, there's 2 more tips there. I hope you found this video useful. I'm so excited to release this book because I've had so many questions about How do we mitigate plagiarism? How do we design a unified AI policy for the school? How do we teach students to use it ethically? And so I just try to just answer all of these questions in my book. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me this week, and I hope to see you next time.